Couple of players poached from the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk update. Will he be back? Maybe sometime soon, which will absolutely help trade deadline as well. Conversations on today's Locked On 49ers.
You are Locked On 49ers, your daily San Francisco 49ers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On 49ers. Brian Peacock and Eric Crocker with you as always. He didn't go anywhere during the intro, so don't worry about that. He's back in his seat. At BD Peacock, at Coach Crocky. Thanks everybody for making us your first listen on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Very special guest as we do on our Wednesday episodes, a Winky Wednesday today. Going to have a lot of fun talking about the San Francisco 49ers. It wasn't a lot of fun last week. Can they get right this week, though? I'm interested in Wink's takes on that one. We're going to talk a little bit of trade deadline, where the 49ers are. Could they send some players out as well as bring some players in, and a couple of guys they lost to some other teams around the league this week. So a lot to get into. Today's episode brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use our code LOCKEDONNFL to get $20 off your first purchase. And now let's bring on today's guest.
Nicholas Winkler, come on down.
Can't believe it.
Action News and Sports with Nick Winkler.
Those of you don't know,
I almost ran.
Yeah, you should have
I
taken
almost ran and came back.
Dude, Croc, look at that
quick.
4.54 40 time. I could see it. How quickly you got it. Nobody would have known, except for the grins on our faces, that you were gone during that intro. So
I had the huge glare behind. I'm like, okay, this is a little uncomfortable. So I had to find my one. You know what's even more uncomfortable? I know this is a football show. I am hurting right now watching the Dodgers potentially be on another verge of winning another World Series. So I wore my Giants shirt. If you guys can see
there
it.
we go. There we go.
All right. There we go. I got a Giants shirt on because I'm just it's just I had to find something to feel good about. It pains me. Ohtani is so good. People are calling him the greatest ever. I am a huge Barry Bonds guy, not even thinking he's the best player in baseball ever, but I think he's like the most dominant player I've ever seen. And it hurts me to see Ohtani because I don't want to be a hater, but gosh, he's pretty amazing. And after last night, what he did, I think he's going to pitch tonight.
He's ridiculous.
Last time he pitched, 6 innings, 10 Ks, he hit 3 home runs. I mean,
might have been the best game in baseball history. That guy's stupid. It's ridiculous, and it is unfortunate.
I hate the Dodgers.
It's unfortunate. The Dodgers.
Yes.
I play softball Monday nights. We usually go have a beer after the game, and the game was on, and we had the early softball game, and I'm not going to leave during an extra inning World Series game. So we were there for 18 innings, and we just kept going. It's like, hey, we got to get another pitcher, guys. Like, oh shoot, all right, I guess we got to do another pitcher. So we saw the whole. Never seen so many Blue Jays fans in all my life in a bar in San Francisco when the Dodgers are in the World Series.
Yeah.
Let's talk San Francisco 49ers here today. And there is, for some reason, a whole lot.
Real quick, before we get to 49ers. Well, it's kind of 49ers related, but as much as we hate the Dodgers, I think it's very the Dodgers in where we live. I know I'm in the Valley. I'm in Stockton. You guys in the Bay Area. But I think it's a very universal hatred for the Dodgers, right? Yeah. Especially amongst 49er fans. What is the equivalent of that to like for 49er fans as far as football goes? Like, is it the Cowboys? Is it the Packers? Yeah. Is it the Seahawks during the time?
I think it is the Cowboys. Yeah, I think the Cowboys over it was the Seahawks for a short time, but remember the Seahawks?
Yeah,
they were an AFC team. Like nobody cared about the Seahawks until the Legion of Boom, very recent. And still today, I think a lot of people would be like, yeah, even over the Rams, even over the Seahawks, the hatred.
There's so much history,
with
the 49ers back to the 80s, in the 90s when they were dominating and we were trying to get back to glory. And there's just some hatred for me. Anytime I see that Dodger blue and anytime I see that Dallas star, like something inside me just doesn't like it.
Gross. The silver and blue too doesn't work.
Ugh.
Both the silver teams, like, get silver off your uniforms. The Raiders and the Cowboys, you see that, and it's just like the silver is gross. The gold is where it's at.
For Warrior fans, and you guys can speak. Is it Is it the Lakers?
The Lakers for sure.
Oh, yeah.
100%. It's not even close. It's even stronger than the Cowboys, I think, for the 49ers
Yes.
fans. Yeah.
Yes. That's
But you know what?
100%.
There's a surprising number. There's a large number of 49ers Dodgers fans because
Which
LA
is
didn't have a football team.
baffling.
And the Niners were the best team. So a lot of people growing up chose the Niners, but they're Dodger fans in Southern California. It seems blasphemous from my standpoint, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
The
when you live
weird
up
thing
here,
with
it
the
doesn't make
Lakers
sense.
Warriors rivalry is it's not a rivalry. Like it's never been a thing. Like there's never been
The Warriors are so much better.
history of sports whereas like the Kings would be more of a rival. Like at least there was somewhat of a back and forth.
We don't care about the Kings.
Hey, that Kings run in the early 2000s was fun. I was in Chico at the
Exciting.
time, and yeah, it was fun watching those teams. All right, let's talk San Francisco 49ers. We got some updates. Brandon Aiyuk, guys, all of a sudden he might be coming back soon. It's not going to be this week, but week to week, we might have the biggest addition at the trade deadline be just Brandon Aiyuk coming back and joining the San Francisco 49ers. And man, do they need it? They looked very sluggish on the offensive side of the ball against the Houston Texans. And so, Wink, we got to get your thoughts on that brutal loss at Houston and potentially what Brandon is just getting a guy like Brandon Aiyuk back enough at the trade deadline if the 49ers don't make any moves.
You'd like to think so, but what percentage is Aiyuk going to be at when he comes back, right? You guys coming off of these big injuries, they never come back full speed. They're not 100%. They don't come in and they're like, yes, I'm lighting the world on fire. Like, this is the Aiyuk you remember. So are they going to bring him along slowly? Is it going to be a pitch count? You know, that sort of thing. I am very excited to get Brandon Aiyuk back. I'm very excited to get Ricky Pearsall back. Like, I just want to see a healthy 49ers football team. So that's another kind of addition that the 49ers have had to play without for most of the season is Pearsall. So this offense could get a real boost here in the next few weeks with a couple of big guys coming back in that wide receiving room.
Croc, how about a starting quarterback coming back? I know
Right?
there's a lot of interesting talk amongst fans like, oh, Brock, maybe Mac Jones is as good as Brock Purdy. Then Mac has a bad week and everyone's like, oh yeah, when's Brock coming back, by the way? Forgot about him. Brock Purdy, it's not looking good for him this week. I think it's a little bit 50-50 on Ricky Pearsall, so some potential there. But man, you start looking at an offense that has, Purdy, even if it was Mac Jones at quarterback, but having just Pearsall and Aiyuk out there is got to be helpful in some ways. I don't know if it'll help the run game so much, but it should possibly open some things up for Kyle Shanahan, right, Croc? And you can start to project this thing out, and the 49ers could look really good in November. And we talked about this before the season started with the Aiyuk stuff. It's like this team is better and going to be better in the end of the year than the beginning of the year. Well, now we're not going to see Nick Bosa and Fred Warner out there, but maybe a little trade move. It's going to be a very different football team, Croc.
On the previous episode, we talked about the 49ers potentially trading to get something back that's going to help them win. I don't know if it's just me going so long without being able to just consistently watch the 49ers have their starting quarterback out there, but maybe that kind of clouded my long-term vision of this season. Could the 49ers be better? You get Brock Purdy back and you win more games. I think I'm always going to kind of look at the defense and just how far away they are from consistently being good. Clearly, they've shown in spurts and moments they can be good and make plays and get a stop here and there. But overall, I just think they're a long ways away from being like a consistently good defense to where, man, whatever you get on offense, how much is that going to help? But once you see it and you see Brandon Aiyuk out there and you see Brock Purdy out there and George Kittle is back and hey, Juwan Jennings, now he's finally healthy and maybe get the run game going. Who knows? Maybe then I might be singing a different tune about the 49ers acquiring pieces at the trade deadline that's going to help, a playoff push. But right now, it still seems kind of far-fetched just a little bit.
I want to talk about George Kittle and a quote he had about Brock Purdy, which is kind of telling about where the 49ers are and how they feel about their franchise quarterback. Real quick note, though, on 49ers players getting poached, guys. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the shuttle back and forth onto the roster for MVS and the 49ers comes to an end, at least for now. And I think this was pretty significant. And it was almost to the point where maybe the 49ers should have signed Travis Gibson to the 53 rather than doing the shuttle to the practice squad, because Travis Gibson now is probably the best pass rusher they had left with Huff being out. And he is now a member of the Carolina Panthers. Those Dirty Rotten Panthers have poached Trevis Gibson, signed him off the 49ers practice squad. And so there you go. With Okuanu injury and Huff injury and Bosa not coming back this season, Niners very thin, and also kind of a project potentially the 49ers adding a player there. So maybe they're not too worried about it because maybe they are up to something at the trade deadline. Let's talk about that, where the 49ers are, trade deadline stuff, and of course, Wink's thoughts on not only the Houston game, but maybe some concerns about the New York Giants next. This episode of Locked On 49ers brought to you by Mazda. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. We're talking about all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, so you can drive with confidence through almost any season. Love taking my Mazda CX-5 up to Lake Tahoe, all-wheel drive. You know, you see the people messing with their chains on the side of the road, and they just say, "Oh, you got that crossover SUV? You got that Mazda with the all-wheel drive? Go on ahead, sir, and go have fun in Lake Tahoe." And I mean, look, when you drive a Mazda, you feel the difference. And for those folks who've never driven a Mazda, never sat in a Mazda, you can feel the craftsmanship, every detail, the upholstery, the accents, just how it feels to sit, and more than anything, how it feels to drive. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings that same intention to how they craft every model. So, like the players, Mazda sweats every detail because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. This episode is also brought to you by our friends at Game Time. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. If you don't have the Game Time app downloaded and ready to go, what are you doing with your life? Because I know we're talking to NFL fans. We're talking to sports fans. If you ever want to go to a sporting event, if you ever go to concerts, comedy shows, if you ever want to go out to a theater event that you need tickets for, you got to have Game Time, and you got to check Game Time because you can get some phenomenal last-minute deals on Game Time. And let's be honest, there's nothing better. Being at the stadium, surrounded by fans, cheering on your team. But getting tickets can be a hassle between queues, login screens, prices jumping at checkout. Super frustrating. And that's why I use Game Time. Game Time is the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee. I've gotten some phenomenal deals, especially on concert tickets. Some last minute, decide to go to a show. Let's check Game Time. I'm going to go if they got some good deals on tickets. You know what they do? I'm out. Let's go. Let's go into the city tonight. So you'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price and all fees included. So the price you see is the price you pay. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. So, Wink, you talked about potentially some concerns for the 49ers as we go ahead toward week 9. And we are, as of this recording Tuesday, we are a week away from the deadline. Are you in a place where you think the 49ers should go for this? Maybe even take a big swing, a little swing? Where are you at for the 49ers at the deadline? And then after that, I want to hear what you think about this Giants matchup. But first, let's talk deadline. Are you in on move? Croc and I talked about the deadline, some players that are potentially available. I mean, I'm in for a move. Like I was calling for John Lynch. I was actually
move.
I was expecting to wake up this morning and be like, "Oh, today's podcast is going to be about the trade that Niners just made."
I don't think the 49ers will just sit there and do nothing. I really know that this front office likes to make moves. They like to add guys. They still feel like they have a championship caliber team despite losing, two of their best players for the entire season. Now, that being said, are they going to give up a future first or a future second or multiple firsts to go and get a big name? I don't think they should do that. I don't think that they're there right now, especially after watching that football game that just happened on Sunday. That was a rough one to watch. They would just – that Houston offense, which has been non-existent all season long, was just picking apart the defense, just dink and dunk all day long. Fred Warner was definitely missed. The first time we really felt that as 49er fans. I know we're going to wait to get into this, but that was a really annoying game to watch as a 49er fan. Just so frustrating. Like, get a stop. And they just couldn't do it all game long.
You felt the loss
minutes.
of Bosa. You felt the loss of Warner. It was like,
and
this
Huff,
is not,
just everything. They got no pressure on Stroud. And anytime they did, he stepped up, made a good throw, ran for a first down. Like, Stroud looked like the guy from 2 years ago, that rookie quarterback that looked amazing. And we haven't seen that all year. So it sucks when that happens, kind of the comeback game or the coming out game against your team. And when your team only has the ball for less than 19 minutes in the football game, and every time they're getting it, it's like, run McCaffrey up the middle stuff. Like, oh, Mac Jones makes a pretty good pass, dropped. Like it was just frustrating all game long as a 49er fan. And now you got to go on the road again to MetLife Stadium, which I'm concerned about that game, not for the Giants, guys. I'm concerned for the turf. I'm concerned for our football team, our team that already has so many injuries all season long. And now you got to go play at the worst turf in the NFL. I'm not liking it. I'm worried big time.
Yeah, that's that. The most injured team in the NFL goes to the place where you're most likely to get injured. That is a bad combination. So if the 49ers make a trade deadline move, maybe they should wait till after week 9 so they know exactly what they have to replace, or be like, yeah, you know what? Never mind. We just I did feel like Croc, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought the Texans looked like a darn good football team. And I came away from that week thinking, I know the Niners are banged up or whatever, but how did the Texans only have 2 wins? You got a good quarterback. You got talent. They had receiver. Their backup receivers were a 2nd-round pick, a 3rd-round pick. They were good. It's not like, oh, we don't have Nico, so we have scrubs out here. I thought their weapons were good. I like the rookie and Woody Marks. I don't know if he's going to be a world beater, but he's solid. The offensive line wasn't as bad, but is that because of the Niners defensive line just not good enough to make them look bad? And the defense is legit, like ready to go every level of that defense. And I felt like the Texans were like, oh, hey, that was pretty cute what you guys did against the Falcons running down their throat. It's not happening today, so you might want to try something else.
Yeah, I think I've seen this from the 49ers as well, right? There is an element of kind of overachieving with the 49ers to this point. At one point, 5-2. And I think most people would tell you that you weren't projecting that with them losing the type of players that they've lost to injury so far this season. And then there's games where it's like, wow, that was an excellent game from the 49ers. Wow, those rookies look good, and this guy looked good, and the quarterback backup guy was very good. And then you start to see some coming back home type moments where it's like, okay, I can see where you miss Fred Warner. I see where you miss Nick Bosa. I see where you miss this guy and that guy. I think the Houston Texans have a team where, hey, defensively, they can play very well. We know that. That's one of the best defenses in the NFL. So if the offense can just have a game where all of a sudden they're playing good, and matchups make fights, or styles make fights. So when you are a Houston Texans team who, hey, well, we have a good defense. So offensively, if it's a team that can't take advantage of a very, very bad offensive line that we have, and we have a young quarterback, you give him time, you get him comfortable, he can make some throws. He proved that like his rookie year. We can look better in this game. And I think that's what we saw. Now, let's say they didn't have as good of a defense. Maybe the 49ers offense looks better. That changes the whole flow of the game. And now all of a sudden the quarterback on the other side looks a little bit more sped up because things aren't quite going in his favor. But styles make fights. And the way that team is built matched up with some of the deficiencies the 49ers currently have with their roster.
I feel like they ran the ball extremely well, too. I feel like they kind of did what we did a week ago to Atlanta, which is just run the ball well on 1st down and really set up 2nd and short, 3rd and short, that sort of thing. And they kind of did it all game long, and that was hard to watch as well.
Yeah, not being able to
they did now, and it was Marks. So yeah. Woody Marks, shout out to USC, fight on, right? Woody Marks had a 23-yard carry. I'm looking at his stats right now, 5.6 yards per carry, and obviously chunk of that, almost half of that came off for one run. But if you look at Nick Chubb, 17 carries for 56 yards. So it wasn't that he was having this great game on the ground, but the game flow made it to where no matter what we get, this is a positive. And if we can get in 3rd and manageable situations, well, versus a team that has no pass rush, and maybe they have to send pressure, so now there's some voids in the defense. Well, can our quarterback just continue to kind of chip away with some of these 5-yard throws in space? And I thought they did a really good job of that.
They had 16 third down attempts, Houston did. I mean, they held the ball for so long. The 49ers had 91 total tackles as a defense. On the season, they've averaged 66 total tackles. I mean, this was a rough game. I mean, it's just Houston just dominated on offense. They didn't dominate by putting up 60. They dominated by moving the chains over and over and over, and it was brutal.
Yeah, not only did Kyle Shanahan not get his 40 run calls in that he likes to try for, but he got like 8. And Mac Jones had 2 yards fewer rushing than Christian McCaffrey did. So yeah, not a great one. Maybe you just scrap that one. On to the New York Giants. Let's turn the page there. And I also want to bring up a couple of names. 49ers, I think we've talked a lot about who they could trade for, but could they maybe move some players as well to help them bring in some other guys and trade from some strengths and fix some weaknesses at the trade deadline? Next.
I'm Cody Rourke from Locked On Broncos, and this episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most advanced equipment yet, giving you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or you're cross-training with your favorite instructors like Alex Toussaint. It's training reimagined to make your workout more personal. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with features that help you plan, stay motivated, and hit peak performance. You can let yourself run, lift, flex, and go while Peloton handles all the rest. Plus, Peloton IQ provides real-time strength coaching, tracking your progress and suggesting weights that challenge you so you can get stronger. Plus, the new movement tracking camera, it counts your reps and corrects your form in real time, making sure every rep is safer and smarter. So let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
All right, guys. I think the 49ers are going to make a move, but could they dangle some players potentially in one of these trades? And I want to highlight a couple of moves. One, let's end the dance at safety. Malik Mustafa's not going anywhere. He's your strong safety, right? For a while. I've liked what I've seen in spurts from the rookie Marcus Siegel. He's clearly part of the 49ers plans. And then you got to pick one, Jason Pinnock or Jair Brown, and potentially move the other guy. And then you have your 3 safeties that you're rolling with right now. And it's one of the few areas the 49ers have like an extra player where maybe a team could come calling and they could either give you a pick for that player or that player could be part of a player for player swap as the 49ers try to maybe help their defensive line. What do you guys think about moving a safety or the other position is running back? I look at the New York Giants and wait. Oh no, they were in Philly. I was thinking, did Scatterbo, because Scatterbo had the Fred Warner dislocated ankle, which was gruesome, unfortunate because he was really fun to watch this year. And I was like, oh no, was that on that New York turf? But no, they were away. They were in Philly for that game. Philly used to have the worst turf. Do you remember Philly when they would show the old rug they had and like it was actually not even flat? I mean,
I think that's what Michael Irvin like broke his neck on,
and they cheered. Yeah,
they cheered when he was getting carted off.
There was a player, I want to say Quick was his name, that like just went to like jump up for a pass. I think he was an Eagles receiver, went to jump up for a pass, and both his knees blew out from jumping off of that turf. It was one of the weirdest injuries ever. Anyway, the 49ers, Isaac Guerendo is fully in the doghouse.
So
he's jumping off.
So
same time, just jumping off the turf.
You have to get surgery or whatever on your knees. You got that big old robotic brace. So did he just have like 2 braces and he's like, how does that?
I don't know if we saw
alien mech suit moving around.
Brutal.
It's not funny. It's just wild.
We're laughing about it. It's not funny at all. And hopefully the 49ers don't have some. I mean, with their, it is a bad combination. Wink, you brought me down really talking about the turf there in New York.
It's real
about that. Oh, it's a real thing. It is absolutely a real thing. Isaac Guerendo, guys, is fully in the doghouse as well because he was usurped as the kick returner by Brian Robinson. Robinson had a nice little return too. And I've been pounding the table for seeing the rookie Jordan James, who looked good in camp and in the preseason before he broke his finger. I want to see him on the football field. Might give you a little something out of the backfield. So let's activate the rookie. And if you're not going to play Isaac Guerendo, what's he doing on the roster? There's plenty of teams that could use an extra running back, a guy that's got speed, could return and could catch a little bit out of the backfield. How about sending Isaac Guerendo or a safety, or about even Juwan Jennings? Croc, could the 49ers trade away Juwan Jennings if they get Pearsall and Aiyuk back?
Yeah, I was going to say they can't right now because they
today.
need him very badly right now. But if Aiyuk and Pearsall come back, I think he becomes available. Whereas with Guerendo, what's he really worth? I mean, the guy's playing on kick coverage right now. That's his only playing time that he's getting at all at this. When I went to the Niner game, I was chatting with everybody around me like, "Where's 31? Where is he? Point him out if you see him." And on one kick coverage, like, "Oh, he's like the right second gunner over there." That's all he's doing all day long.
Even with Brandon Aiyuk, I think there's going to be this kind of ramp up period. So I can't see them trading away a guy. If there were any thoughts of trading Juwan Jennings, it would have happened in the offseason where he was at his like peak value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But right now, and this is one of those things where it's like, okay, well, we need this guy to kind of get through. And you see it's kind of still an issue. And for Juwan Jennings, he understands that now my value is significantly lower October 28th than it was July 15th, right? That's why he was holding out. And people think, oh, it's up. I mean, I want to make some money. How many millions did he lose because of how this season has gone? Whether it was his injury or just kind of who Juwan Jennings truly kind of is, or what his opportunities were going to be with the 49ers. So that's tough. What could you get for him right now as opposed to in July? But I understand you need to kind of get through this season and you need him, but I would have moved on him, got whatever you could have got potentially at the third or fourth round pick, whatever it is. Right now, he might be like a conditional 6th round pick, and that's not going to help you. But also, you need Brandon Aiyuk to come back, ramp up period to where he starts to feel better. And I do believe come, week 16, week 17, start coming to his own. I remember some years ago, 2013 to be exact. I remember because I was with the New York Jets at this time, and Michael Crabtree ruptured his Achilles. And I remember I'm eating around everybody and I'm seeing the news on the TV and I'm like, oh, no, Michael Crabtree tore his ACL. I mean, his Achilles. What the hell? And the teammates on the Jets were looking like, so what? I'm like, oh, my bad. I'm 49 fan. But later that season, Michael Crabtree came back. And there was kind of this, a little bit of a slow start. Then all of a sudden, you get into the playoffs. He's actually helping you. And he helped the 49ers beat the Green Bay Packers on the road out there at Lambeau Field. So I wouldn't expect this great version of Brandon Aiyuk right away. But I could see a month and a half from now, you start to see like, okay, Brandon Aiyuk is coming along. So you got the Juwan Jennings situation. If you didn't trade him in July, you might as well keep him now. And that'll help that transition period for Brandon Aiyuk to get a little healthier.
You mentioned his value around the league is at probably the lowest it's been in a long time, but his value with the 49ers, I think, is extremely high right now. I mean, because they need him out there every week. I just don't think they could trade him at all. Even if they do go try to get someone offers them a fourth or something, a conditional fourth. I don't think they do it. I don't think the 49ers do anything like that because they need him so badly. What does this wide receiving core look like this weekend if Jennings can't play? It's not good.
And he's clearly battling too, because he's hurt. He's got lower body. He's got upper body. You can tell he's not quite. He's never been a burner anyway, but you can tell he's like, God, he's fighting through this, and the 49ers need it. So, I mean, for that reason alone, I mean, you got to respect Juwan Jennings, and there's no way you're pushing him out of town. But running back safety, would you guys send one of those players? What do you think?
Get anything for Guerendo? Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I like the depth of safety though.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, that conversation is like, John's like, hey, we got an offer of a decent pick for whatever, Jair Brown, Jason Pinnock. And Kyle would be like, we can't trade players away. We barely can field a team as it is. Someone's going to get hurt. The second they trade a running back or a safety, somebody at that position is going to get it hurt the very next game, guaranteed. It's just where the 49ers
have had the worst. They've had the worst
luck.
Yeah.
And they're going to the worst field. And again, I'm
Worst
terrified.
field. Luckily, they're not playing the worst opponent. The New York Giants, I don't think, are very good. They do have a good front seven, though.
I think because of the worst injury luck that they've had, it makes you less hesitant to make certain moves. There was a time where maybe even Mac Jones, right? And he's kind of come back down to earth a little bit, but there was a time where it's like, oh, would a team give up a first round pick, a second round pick? And a lot of people are like, no, you can't do that because, well, your quarterback's not healthy. And it's like, it's tough because it's like, well, when the iron's hot, you got to strike. And now Mac Jones has kind of come back down to earth, which not playing terrible, understanding the circumstances, right? But some of the players he was contributing to wins with is like, wow, this is impressive, right?
Yeah.
And now you're seeing him lose with those guys, and it's like, well, of course he's losing with those guys. Most people kind of would, but there was a time where you could have gotten a lot for him, and the injuries that the 49ers have had, were like, no, you can't do that. He's way too valuable to the 49ers right now. I think I would have taken. It depends what your expectations are for this current team. I think for the 49ers, I feel like this season is for next season. Basically, meaning you're playing a lot of these young guys. It's not the best version of them. I saw Tatum Bethune, it was Bethune and Winters. They were involved in one of the touchdowns for the Houston Texans. And people are like, oh, who's wrong, right? Like, was it Winters wrong? Or look at Tatum Bethune, and he's responsible for this. Whoever was wrong and whatever they were wrong on, I do believe that they will be better for that.
Yeah.
Right? Like whatever that hit was, it's a coachable thing. And moving forward, you're gonna have a lot of those. So I feel like this team will be better next year for wherever they're going through now. So if that's my thought process, if you could have moved off of Mac Jones, which you're not even thinking about it because of injuries, but if you could have and gotten some value back, man, how much better would that pick make the 49ers next season? And that's just kind of my train of thought with it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's definitely a focus of the trade deadline. It's still got to make sense for 2026, whatever you do. So it's either so little that you give up that it doesn't hurt your future drafting power, or the player that you add is also going to be part of the 2026 football team. Thanks, everybody, for making us your first listen here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Make sure you check out the new NFL Six-Pack Show. For those of you who listen to Peacock and Williamson with myself and former NFL scout Matt Williamson daily, new format, same host. It's still me and Matt. It's still Peacock and Williamson, but the new format, the NFL Six-Pack, 6 topics on the NFL every single day. Make sure you are subscribed there and come over, hang out with me, and talk about the entire NFL over there on the new NFL Six-Pack. And, of course, stay tuned here tomorrow. We've got a crossover with Patricia Traina, Locked On Giants, and we'll be previewing the New York Giants and Week 9, probably talking more trades. I think something might be happening. So stay tuned. Locked On 49ers.
The
Wink is on.